Hello and welcome back to Mr. Haas's Math Help videos. Today we're going to be working on order of operations, and here's an example of our worksheet. Order of operations, lesson 1-4 B side. We may also have the C side, but in order for us to understand how to do the order of operations, which is very important in figuring out values, I'm going to first remind us that we need to remember PEMDAS. That's that little reminder thingy. P-E-M-D-A-S. PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Whatever you use to remind you, but it is parentheses, exponent, and this is an exponent right here, this little number 2. That means to the second power. MD, multiplication and division, doesn't matter which one comes first. If you come across division before multiplication, you're going to do it that way. But I'm going to put down multiplication and division. And the AS, that works the same way as the multiplication and division. It is our addition and our subtraction. And again, whichever one comes first. Here's an expression that is right from our sheet, problem number 1. So it's 10 plus 6 times 2. Okay, so let's rewrite that. 10 plus 6 times 2. Okay, so following PEMDAS rules, from left to right, we go through math, we read math from left to right, just like we do our words in reading. So I've got a 10 plus 6. Well, I also have a 6 times 2, which is earlier in the PEMDAS order of operations, which means I'm going to do this multiplication first. So now I've got 10 plus 12. Now I add the 10 and the 12, and that's going to give me 22. Okay? Let's look at one that's a little bit more complex so that we can understand a few more. Let's take a look at problem 4. Okay, problem 4 has in parentheses, I'll do a little line here, in parentheses, 4 squared, or 4 to the second power, plus 6, close parentheses, divided by 11. Okay, so PEMDAS says, do your parentheses first. Well, you could, if you had the same base, combine these two, add these two together, but they aren't. So we're going to have to skip the parentheses first and then go to adding what's inside the parentheses. So in this case, we're going to start off with the 4 exponent, or to the second power. That's basically 4 times 4. That's what the exponent means. Okay, and then we're going to do the plus 6. I'm just doing a little rewrite here for us. Divided by 11. Okay, so 4 times 4 is 16, and that's in parentheses, plus the 6, close parentheses, divided by 11. Adding these two together in the parentheses, we double back to that P, we do our parentheses first. That's going to give us 22 divided by 11. That equals 2. Okay, so now we've seen how sometimes we can skip in the order of PEMDAS in order to get us the same base numbers. If you've got some with exponents and some without, you really can't add them. So we all have to get them so that there's no exponents. Let's look at the next section of problems on this assignment. This is a little bit more difficult. This is going to require a little bit more trial and error. So let's take a look at what they're asking us to do in this problem. They want us to add parentheses. In other words, put the parentheses around groups of numbers so that each equation, we know it's an equation because it's got an equal sign, is correct. Okay, let me get this set up. We'll get a new sheet of paper here. Okay, all set. Let's rewrite it. Number 10, we have 7 plus 9 times 3 minus 1 equals 25. Okay, so, wow. If I add these two, let's try it a couple of different ways, and then we'll see if we can learn from just trial and error. If I add these two first, in other words, if I put my parentheses around these two guys, I'm going to end up with, what do we got, 16 times 3 minus 1 equals 25. Wow, 16 times 3, that's 48, minus 1 equals 25. 47 equals 25. Well, that didn't work, so that's no good. Let's try a different placement of our parentheses. Here's our 7 plus 9 times 3 minus 1 equals 25. Well, okay. Let's try the next one to the right. Let's put our parentheses here. All right? So now our parentheses, PEMDAS says, let's try what's in the parentheses first. 7 plus 9 times 3 is 27 minus 1. Okay. So now we do this part we did here. Now we'll do going from left to right. 7 plus 27 is 34 minus 1. Does that equal 25? Well, let's see. Let's subtract that. We have 33 is equal to 25. No, that's not right either. Okay, we've got one last grouping that we can do. And we'll rewrite our problem. 7 plus 9 times 3 minus 1 equals 25. Okay. Now that means we're going to try our parentheses all the way here on the right. We're going to do the 3 minus 1 first. So we have 7 plus 9 times 2 equals 25. Okay, PEMDAS, we did our parentheses first. Now we're going to do the multiplication because MD comes before AS. All right, so we're going to do 9 times 2, that's 18. And we have 7 plus 18 equals 25. And yes, 7 plus 18 does equal 25. And we have found our solution. This is the way to do it, right here. Now, earlier I spoke about how we can sometimes look at shortcuts or methods that help us. We know that we're going to be adding numbers here. So when we look at 9 times 3, we know that's going to be 25, and we're going to increase that to our 34. My goodness, well, there's no way that subtracting 1 is going to get us all the way down to 25. And over here, when we build up to 16 times 3, well, wow, look, we got all the way up to 48. There's no way minus 1. So sometimes you're just going to have to look at it kind of as in common sense. If I do this, am I going to end up with a really big number that's going to put me nowhere close to what I'm trying to reach on the other side? I'll do one more for us so that we can get another trial at this. Hang on, let me get some new paper here for us. Okay. Let's take a look at problem 11. Problem 11 is 2 cubed, or to the third power, minus 7 times 4 equals 4. Okay, let's rewrite it and see what we come up with. 2 cubed, 2 to the third power, minus 7 times 4 equals 4. Well, 2 cubed, in other words, this thing here is 2 times 2 times 2. Okay. And then we've got minus 7 times 4 equals 4. Well, remember when I said we looked at common sense? Let's think about what we'd get if we multiplied these guys together. Well, we're going to end up with 28, right? We're going to be subtracting that from whatever this is over here. Well, that's an awful lot. We may end up even with a negative number. So let's try doing our parentheses let's try it first this way. So inside the parentheses, let's take a look at making this exponent go away first. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 7, that's what we have in our parentheses now, times that 4 equals 4. Next we do our PEMDAS. We're going to do that parentheses. 8 take away 7 is 1, times 4 equals 4. And indeed, 4 does equal 4. So, see what I mean? How we kind of looked at this first and said, you know what? If we do this, if we multiply these two together first, we're going to be just too big, especially since that number is going to be negative. So let's, that should do it. And thank you for watching.